Happy New Year. I hope this new year, I hope we're all born in this new year with love, peace, and joy. I pray that, we continue to have love, peace, and joy as we go throughout this year. You know, as many of us have done and are still doing, which is reflecting on the past year. In this episode, I want to reflect, I want to share 5 lessons that I have learned in the past year that can help you transform your life and finance in 2025. One lesson I learned in 2024 and I was reminded of is that our time is limited on this earth. 2024 happened to be a year that um, I lost a lot of people that I knew, at some point in life, and most of them were very young. Most of them were very young. Most of them had a lot of life ahead of them, doing a lot of great things. But for one reason or another, God saw it fit, to call them home. And going, like just experiencing, witnessing, you know, their death, it just reminds me that our time is limited. And, it says in Psalms 90, verse 12, so teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. This verse is important, because it underlined that our time is one of the most valuable resources that God has given us. And you can't waste any time. Every second, every minute of you just not doing anything productive is wasting time. And you can't get this time back at all. Oftentimes, I've said in previous video, we all hope to live a long life, and I pray that's all our portion, but reality is many of us won't get to live that. Many of us won't get to live that. And as a result, we have to be mindful of how we spend our days. We have to be mindful of how we spend our hours, how we spend our weeks, how we spend our months. It's important as we early in this year, take time to set a time to speak to God and understand how you can align with Him, align your will with His vision for you. Because once you're dead, there's nothing that you can do anymore. You're not worrying about any bills or anything of that. So you're not worrying about all these things that we're worrying about, stressing about, hustling and busting about. When you're dead, it has no type of value. Through those different experiences, it reminds you that every day is a new opportunity to make progress towards our God-given purpose. Don't let this year Don't let this year be another year you just let go about because of the environment you may find yourself in, the challenges that you see yourself facing. You don't see no way out. This is the perfect time to draw nearer to God and ask God for the wisdom, for the strategy to help you get through. Whether it's starting a business that you've been praying about, whether it's investing in your future, don't wait. Time waits for no one. When it's that day, when you have to breathe your last breath, it will be, there's nothing else that can be done. There's nothing else that can be done. So it's important, to use your time wisely. And that was something that was constantly reminded in 2024 is use your time wisely because you never know when it will be your last. You never know what's going to be your last second. No, the second lesson I learned in the past year is being grateful for both the good and the bad. It's very easy to be grateful when things are going well, when things are in our favor, and it's very hard to, be grateful when things are bad. But I have learned that, being grateful in the bad, it just as beneficial as being grateful in the good. Because when you're grateful in the bad, it shifts your mindset, to focus on the things that have done well, the things that that are going right, and not get consumed. Because oftentimes when we get consumed with negativity and with complaining, we often set ourselves back. We often hold ourselves from moving forward, and this is why it's important to just be grateful in all seasons. And it states in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. So it's just important to yeah, it's just important to really just be grateful because some opportunities that we may be chasing, and God told us no, it may be a door of protection. It may be a door of protection that we right now we won't able to understand that. God has so many ways of just guiding us and protecting us, and sometimes it's just letting us say, no, this is not the time for us to pursue such opportunity. This is not the time for us to pursue such career. Or you may not be in the space to pursue such career. And just going back to time, the more grateful you are about the things that are going well for your life, you're able to see the beauty of life. You're able to appreciate, what God has even allowed you to see. Because every day above the earth is another day to be great, another day to pursue the goals that God has given you. And if you're constantly complaining, you're constantly in a bad mood, you're constantly allowing the negativity around you overwhelm you, you won't be able to take the next step. You won't be able to move towards, the goal, the vision that God has called you to. So another lesson that I was reminded, and a lesson I learned in the past year, and I was also reminded, is just being a person of value everywhere you go. I often speak about being a person of value, and you can become a person of value by learning a specific skill that is needed, in your business, in your career, providing a certain service that may not be available to the masses in your community. It's important to have people who are wanting to be valuable, people that wants to help others. Too many times, a lot of us are selfish, um, with our gift and our talent, but in reality, our gift and talent is for other people. It's for us to serve other people. And this past year, I thank God for the different opportunity where I was able to share my gift and be valuable to people. Because not only they were blessed, I was also as blessed. And and this is just a principle that you need to apply in every area of your life, whether it's career, your community, your relationship. Just be a person of value. Be a person that people can call on, people can count on. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there. If you say you're going to help in some way, be there. You know, just be a person of value. Just be a person of value. Like, it's a win-win situation. Because you're helping people, people want to help you. If you're washing someone's hands, they also want to wash your hands. If you're looking out for other people, people will also want to look out for you. And that's something that I'm constantly reminded. And in 2024, I was able to, in 2024, I'm glad, I was reminded of that and I was able to benefit from this principle of being a person of value, especially in my career. And the scripture to reference in regards to being a person of value is Proverbs 11, verse 25, which states, whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters himself be watered. So it's just pretty much like, it's important. Like there's a blessing in being valuable, for both the community, the person, and just for yourself. Um, and I will say, do it with a genuine heart. When you're doing this with a genuine heart, when you're going the extra mile, people see that and they would try their best to reward you. Whether that be maybe a prayer, whether that be giving you actually making extra money, at your job or in your business, getting an extra tip. Just important to really be a person of value. And the simplest things, you can do to be a person of value. Saying good morning, asking people how their day was, really looking out for people and, wanting to position people in the best place in order for them to succeed in life. Another lesson that I have learned is do not be afraid to do it by yourself. And this specifically, was something I had to learn this past year. Oftentimes, when you have this goal, this vision, you try to include the people that's closer to you, in the vision, in the dream. And sometimes, due to life, and how life is, you find out that they're not on the same path, or they don't have the same understanding that you may have. And, they may not have the same fire, when you want to pursue. And as a result, it would get frustrated because you see this as something that can benefit you. But, what I have learned that people want to see results. People are not patient to see results. I mean, they don't see something happen immediately. They don't think it's working. And this is why a lot of people don't get into investing, whether it's in stock, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in crypto, because they want immediate reward. And if it's not immediate reward, it's like, yeah, this is not good enough. This is not worth it. And as a result, you find yourself, having to do things on your own, having to step out in faith and truly trust God, knowing that no one else is there for you. And that's something I had to learn. Just like, if God showed you something or telling you something to do, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your career, whether it's with your finances, and, people around you may not necessarily agree, still do it. It reminds us in Isaiah 41 verse 10, it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, because I am your God. I will strengthen you and I will help you. I will uphold you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So there may be seasons, as we go through 2025 where God calls you to step out in faith. And it may feel like, why to do this? But step out in faith, because, it's going to grow your character. It's going to allow you to truly understand God in a different way than you haven't understanding him. It's going to grow your knowledge. It's going to grow your wisdom. It's going to grow your, just you as a person. And I'm not saying community is not important. Communities are important, but sometimes obedience requires you to move forward even when others don't see the vision. And that's something I learned in the past year, is being able to move forward when other people are not aligned or don't see the same thing I see. And finally, just as the last lesson that I was learning, I was reminded in 2024, and I want to share with you guys, and hopefully this will help you guys in your year 2025, is God wants to blow your mind if you allow him to. Too often we put a boundary, we set a limit on what God can do or what ways God can work, how God can move, whether it's in our career, whether it's in our finance, whether it's in the relationship, whatever it may be, we limit God, and as a result, we don't go far. We get stagnant. We complain to God, but God is like, trust me. Trust me. He got your back. Like, he got your back. Allow you to be crushed. He's not gonna allow you to be crushed. You have to trust him. It's only going to take you as far as you can believe him. Because as you grow, as you do great things, it requires you to have more faith. Whether it's with finance, whether it's in career, wherever in relationship, it requires you to have more faith in God, where God is taking you in these different areas. It requires you to have more faith. It requires you to step out alone. It's like, if you had told me my 2024 would go the way it did, which was amazing, I would say you were lying. But I had to learn to let go. I had to learn to truly allow God to be God in my life. No matter what the challenges was, like knowing that God got my back. Knowing that, there's a way out of it. Even though I don't see it, it doesn't make sense. People not listening to my vision. Whatever you may think of is challenging. You don't feel like you're getting enough support. Your finances not looking right. If you allow God to be God, he will blow your mind. And the scripture that I want to read to reflect that, which remind us of that, which is Ephesians 3:20, which states, "Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all we ask or think, according to the power at work within us." God's plan for us, God's plan for you, God's plan for me is greater than anything we can imagine. But the key is that you have to step out in faith. You have to allow him to move in ways that might stretch you. It's going to be challenging. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying 2024 is not a challenging year. And I'm not saying 25 won't be a challenging year for you, but you have to embrace the challenge. It's going to grow you. It's going to allow you to become the woman and man of God that God has created you for. You know, and I want to say, don't be scared of failing. Dream big, have bold prayers, and be willing to take steps that He's leading you to take. Even when it doesn't make sense to anyone around you, be willing to take steps, because if you have God behind you, you can't lose. There's no way of losing. And as we continue to pursue, as we continue to go in 2025, you know, I just want you to remember that time is precious. You know, gratitude is important. You know, adding value is rewarding. And sometimes certain seasons you may need to go through alone. And lastly, God's plan for you are beyond anything you can comprehend. And I believe that these principles will not only transform your life, but it can also transform your finances. And as always, I hope this message bless you guys. I hope this message encourage you guys, no matter where you guys are in your journey. And as stated earlier, I pray that we all have a blessed 2025, you know, filled with love, filled with joy, filled with peace. And if this message has blessed you guys, feel free to share this with a friend. And if you haven't yet subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Stay blessed and peace out.